patch 12.0.1 overview, guys. I didn't even know this patch was coming until like a week ago, honestly. And I follow the WoW news like a crazy person, but somehow this one snuck up on me. We're getting tons of class changes. Like, I'm talking about huge class changes. We're getting UI revamps. We're getting a bunch of updates to the game. This will be basically the last big update before midnight officially hits. So let's check this one out. Everything coming in 12.0.1 from Mr. GM. Let's dive straight in.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about patch 12.0.1, the second pre-expansion patch for Midnight, or basically the Midnight patch. This is the first patch of Midnight and will contain everything from the beta and a ton of minor changes, which we're going to talk about in this video. This video will focus on the changes that are happening kind of in this window between now and launch. I will have a separate video going over everything coming in Midnight. But before we jump into all of the changes and updates, do want to give a massive thank you to the sponsor of this video, and that is Rested XP. TBC Classic Anniversary is here, the Dark Portal is open, and you're about to realize you do not actually remember Outland at all. So Rested XP is here to tell you exactly where to go, what to do, and what to not waste time on. So you're leveling while everyone else is lost in Nagrand. And also when you hop back into retail, they now have full Midnight guides ready to go as well. If you want to level up your leveling, check out the link in the description and level way smarter with Rested XP. And thanks again to Rested XP for sponsoring this video. Alright, so yes, patch 12.0.1 launches next week as of the recording of this video on February 10th in the NA region and February 11th in the E.
I did not know this was happening, man. That's why. I think the reset's going to be a pretty long one, I'm guessing. I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's probably going to be like a 4-hour reset if I had to guess. But big change is coming. This is basically, we had pre-patch, right? Yeah, kind of hit like a fucking limp noodle. That was a shitty pre-patch. But now we're getting this one, which is basically the official launch of Midnight. It technically is. If you're looking at the patch notes and everything, it's technically the launch of Midnight. We're just not going to have real Midnight content until the actual expansion launches. But this is basically taking your class into Midnight ready mode. So however your class plays after this patch hits is how it's going to play at the start of Midnight.
As said, this is mostly minor changes, but some really cool changes, and certainly things we've seen on the beta, which are finally coming to the live game. So let's start by talking about class changes. Yes, class changes are coming in this patch. Now, nothing too super crazy, but it is mostly just tuning and the odd change here and there. You might need to reset your talents potentially when the patch launches.
Yeah, there were some crazy ones, a little bit crazy ones. I'm not gonna lie. You could go. I have a whole video talking through this, all the fucking patch notes. It's long as shit, but yeah, there are some classes that I think are going to fall off a bit and some that are going to rise to the top.
You'll also see Apex talents on the UI. So, yeah, that Midnight feature that's going to unlock from level 81 will be there for you to look at on the UI. Now, if you want to look at any specific class changes, I will link the patch notes down below so you can scroll through that and have a look what's happening to your class in regards to the changes. Next up, you have a new login screen. So, yes, the login screen is being updated once again and will display Silver Moon through the portal. This was something that certainly is a little bit controversial, as people did really like the pre-patch login screen, but yeah, we are getting an update to it with Silver Moon.
I think this is better. You know, putting Silver Moon in there makes it look a little bit better. Now, is it the login screen that we all wanted? No, of course not. We all know the login screen we all wanted, right? We know what login screen that we
with
need.
Some updated music.
You know, did I show it there for a second? Maybe. I'll show it to you again. Yeah, this is what we wanted, okay? We all know that. Yeah, but it's not what we're going to get. Sometimes society asks for things that it doesn't receive. I'll just go ahead and save this, put it away for later, though. But
as well, all of the music from the
anyways,
beta
this
is coming
better,
over
I think,
as well,
than what we
so
currently
we'll
have.
see some of that on the login screen. So yeah, enjoy that. Another thing that I really like, and again, people don't like change, but yes, they are updating the Eastern Kingdoms map. Of course they are, because Quel'Thalas has now been added to it officially.
So if you look at the current map, this is actually way bigger than it currently is in the game. There's a big outpush here. This is all the Amani troll lands, way freaking bigger. Judd's out a lot more, and now you got all this expanding out much further up. It complements the actual size of these zones now, because these zones were actually made bigger too.
Now, this is a change that did come in beta that didn't make it to the pre-patch. So yeah, Eastern Kingdoms is going to look a little bit different on the sort of Azeroth map. And
damn, look at it this compared to Kalimdor. They used to kind of be comparable in size. Now it looks like Eastern Kingdoms is way longer.
course, on the Eastern Kingdoms map itself. So yeah, we're gonna have to get used to that. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the loading screen has been updated with the new Eastern Kingdoms, but yeah, we are gonna get a new map
the
as
map
of
art got
12.0.1
too.
For the damage meters, they're also receiving some updates. So you now have a session timer, which has been added to the title bar. This has also been added to the overall and current segment drop down, telling you how long you were
This is what I'm saying, guys. Just be patient, okay? Everyone's freaking out about the damn damage meters and all these other things that Blizzard implemented in the game. Everyone just needs to calm down, because all these things that your add-ons used to do, that you're like, well, the damage meter doesn't do what this used to, it's going to happen. It's going to take a little bit of time. They're going to keep implementing changes. More and more stuff is coming for the UI, and eventually it's just going to get easier and easier to play without add-ons. Am I still playing without add-ons? Yes, I am. I've decided I'm going to do it, and I'm going in. I'm not playing with add-ons, and so far I've been able to do it. And I have faith, maybe misplaced, that they're going to continue to update these UI elements to actually match what the add-ons were giving us.
Combat 4. They're also adding some new tracking things to it, including tracking deaths and tracking enemy damage taken for the damage meter. So the damage meter is getting a few little updates there. The built-in boss mods, which came in pre-patch, are also getting updated. We'll now have an edit mode option to display as a bar instead of a timeline, which is something similar we've seen with add-ons. Cool. And also you can make...
I actually might want to do it. This is more intuitive to me than the timeline is good, but this makes more sense to me.
Boss abilities and boss warnings anchored to the cursor location instead of in the bottom right corner.
Bars are greater
just
than
some minor
timeline.
changes there, but the bars, they look pretty good for the most part. Moving into nameplates, the clickable area for the nameplate frames has been increased slightly on all sides to make it easier to interact with. Also, important cast highlighting is now more obvious, and under the enemy NPC buffs and debuffs, the shared CC checkbox is now enabled by default. They've also fixed an issue where the raid marker icons were not showing on the friendly player nameplates, and also with the unit frames, you'll now be able to select the background color of your raid frames in the options. That's in interface raid frames background color option, and you have a full color slider there that you can move around. So if you want to change the background of your raid frames, you will be able to do that in the patch. Next up, the cooldown manager. Just a very minor change here. The icon padding can now be set to 0. So yeah, if that was an issue for you, that's something that's being changed. Another up.
Sam's still trying to defend Blizzard's add-on replacement. Look, I mean, I'll tell you right now, they're not as good as the add-ons. They're not. But to me, the benefit of playing without add-ons outweighs what I used to get out of add-ons. It does not outweigh what I used to get out of add-ons. I didn't use a lot of add-ons to begin with. You guys know that. I was basically like DBM and damage meters, and that was pretty much what I was running. So for me, losing add-ons is not a big deal for the most part. I played without them, really, because I like seeing the game. I didn't like the freaking UI being covered up in a bunch of shit, or the game being covered up in a bunch of UI. So for me, it's not really a big difference. And what Blizzard's giving me right now in the game, while it's not there yet, is enough for me to get by until it gets there.
Is some updates to the text-to-speech feature. So they've added more customization in regards to being able to choose a specific voice for specific actions, and they've also added the option to choose the volume for that. So a little bit more customization with the text-to-speech options, which were added in pre-patch, so that's really good for people that need that, of course. We've also got some new achievements coming in pre-patch. We've got the Mounted Lumber achievement. So basically, these achievements have you collecting 250 lumber from each of the expansions, and doing so will unlock Mounted Lumber collection in that expansion.
Right.
So
that's right. You can now play with wood while mounted. Once you get this achievement, you'll be able to literally chop down wood while staying on your mount. That's a cool thing.
This is retroactive as well, so if you have already gone out and farmed a bunch of lumber in the pre-patch, it's very likely that when you log in on patch day, you will get these achievements. So it is nice to see Mounted Lumber collection coming in. We have a minor change to endeavors. The progress bar on the housing dashboard now has a percentage text on it.
Nice.
So this is obviously something that has been done through add-ons and will be default in the game as of 12.01. We have some updates to the transmog system as well. So when choosing an icon for your outfit slot, the icons for the items that are currently equipped will appear at the start of the list. So yeah, a pretty minor change, but very cool if you just want to use like the icons.
I don't think I've added icons. I think I still have 2 question marks for my outfits. I need to update that. Also, you should have, if you didn't retransmog since the last update, a reset day, you should be able to do your free transmog now. That's in the game. So everyone gets a free transmog because Blizzard accidentally made us repay for the transmogs we already had equipped when the patch went live. So now the free one should be available. So your next transmog, if you haven't used it, should be free.
Wearing, you can do that as they will now be at the beginning. You can also use the arrow keys to navigate the transmog UI, and the currency text will now change to red, and an error tooltip will appear over the save outfit button if you do not have enough gold to save your outfit. For dungeons, the Pit of Sauron and Skyreach will now be open. They were closed during pre-patch. They're now going to be open as of 12:01, and you will be able to go and collect the new decor from those two dungeons. Another minor change is that the item set tab in the adventure guide has been removed. Nobody's going to miss that. Maybe they will. I don't know, but it's gone. I don't think I ever used it. It's no longer there. And finally, the best change of all, and don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure this is a thing, the money frame issue has been fixed as of 12:01. This has been a really annoying bug that kind of breaks all of your tooltips, and I'm pretty sure as of 12:01, this is finally being fixed, so a great change overall. So guys, that is it. That is patch 12.0.1. Just some minor changes for the most part, some updates we've seen in beta, which are finally coming to the game. So yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Of course, Midnight Early Access does launch in like 3 weeks, which is pretty crazy to say. So yeah, we'll have more and more videos covering Midnight, but I just wanted to put this one out just to let you know some of the changes coming in this minor patch. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter, MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And also I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Midnight pre-patch, Midnight launch, any sort of WoW, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM.
Yeah.
And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
I actually think, he kind of downplayed it there at the end. I actually think some of the class changes in this patch are pretty significant. So I think things are going to play a little bit different after this thing hits. It's the kickoff of Midnight, and basically, however your class plays, these are the last big round of class changes and updates before the expansion launches. So this will be how your class is going to play going into Midnight after this patch hits. A nice video, though, overall from Mr. GM.